So hello, beautiful tribe, and welcome to Magic Month of May. And I am super excited to be sharing the forecast for May. I am going to be doing a mini Magic Month just because personally, I am in Portugal and I'm about to fly to Egypt tomorrow, and so this is a shorter version than normal of Magic Month, just to give you the really, really important stuff about the month, because it is a really, really important month. And let's begin by closing our eyes and just taking a few moments to breathe more deeply, really letting your breath drop into your body, and nourish your body, seeing if you can connect to the journey that your breath has, noticing where it travels to on your in-breath and where it travels to on your out-breath. And as you explore where the breath is traveling, notice what starts to change about your experience of the moment. Notice if there is a shift in your emotions, in your presence, in your sense of self right here, right now. And see if you can feel this sense of your breath and its journey guiding you into the now, guiding you into the present moment. And one of the things my guides are saying to me is that presence is really, really important in the month of May 2024. The more that we can choose to be present, to be now, the more we can arrive into the upgrade that April 2024 gave us. And so this is a really, really important thing to consider and to understand and to remember in May. And that any practices such as letting your breath travel and exploring where your breath travels to within your body that help you become more present are the right practices to be doing. And just taking a moment to open your heart and tune in to the energy of May, which is very, very different from the energy of April. April was like this electric, expansive, very yang energy. The energy of May is much more yin, much more magnetic, much more about embodiment. It's slower. It's more considered. And yet it's very, 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 very deep in all directions. And so just notice that energy shift from April 24 into May 24. And what I will say is that when I've tuned into the astrology of May, it really is about allowing the arrival of, April 24 marked a new path cycle, the big Jupiter and Uranus conjunction that happened is the beginning of a new 14-year cycle of your path. And what you do in May, the choices that you make in May, and the way you do what you do in May is really going to be how that potential actually anchors in, and especially how new directions can begin, how it can embody, so it stops being this like idea of a new possibility, a new potential, and actually becomes a reality. So May is very much about bringing all that potential, expansive, ascension, active energy into reality. And the sky is really, really supportive of that. And I feel like the most important thing is life force energy. There's a real theme of how your life force energy is connecting and communicating and working during May, and what you are doing to nurture and nourish and support your life force energy beginning to recurrent for this new path, for this new cycle, for this new way of being. Communication is absolutely the other theme of this month, and particularly communication with yourself. So it's about noticing what's draining you, what's enlivening you, what is causing you to overflow, what is true, what is real. And if you do this, you're going to find that it's a very, very magical, transformative, alchemical, powerful month of going from the deep inner and bringing the deepest self and the deepest secrets of your deepest desires out into reality. There's so much magic this month. It is absolutely like glittering with golden energy. And so that's May. and an overview of May. And I'd really, really love it if those of you listening live would say hello and just let me know that you can hear and that everything is working correctly, and also to co-create Magic Month with me. So please do share in the chat box. Let me know how you're doing and your own insights and your own perceptions and everything like that. And we'll go straight into the forecast. So May begins every year in the Northern Hemisphere with Beltane. And Beltane is the sexy one of the pagan festivals. It's about the male and the female uniting. And it's kind of like when the earth and the sky are making love. It's all about the life force energy and the juices of creation flowing, and the chemistry, you know, that's what it celebrates, is that kind of time of lovemaking in nature's seasonal cycles. And so you will know that from magic months in the past, if you listen regularly, that I always say, like, what's happening at the start of the month is really, really relevant to what the month is about. It's like what happens at the start of the month sets the scene. And what happens at the start of May, on May 2nd, is, you know, Pluto, who is death and rebirth and transformation, goes into retrograde. And the Pluto retrograde is quite long. It goes, it'll go throughout the whole of the summer. And Pluto at the moment is in Aquarius. It will move back to Capricorn. Pluto in Aquarius is definitely one of the most important astrological things going on in our current time. And Pluto in Aquarius is very much about, in terms of shadow and what Pluto in Aquarius shows us about shadow, it's about the shadow of it is like there being no personality there being no sense of self, just like people living in this like technological reality where they have no personal power and they're just lemmings to higher powers of technology, and there's no individuality. And that's the like negative side of Pluto in Aquarius. The positive side is the opposite of that. It's like community and collaboration and singing together and co-creating and everybody living in harmony and community and in a really, really beautiful way. And the difference between those two realities is how much sovereignty we have. So if we have oneness without sovereignty, you get that lemming reality where humanity is essentially bulldozed by everything else. And if you don't, if you have sovereignty, if you be in oneness but with sovereign energy, then you get this reality that is based on kindness and cooperation and this like amplification of what our humanity is in the most amazing way. And our sexual energy is the energy that can teach us most about how to be sovereign and one at the same time, how to be in the dance of sovereignty and oneness. And it's very, very significant that Pluto retrograde is starting on Beltane, because what the sky is saying is like this summer is a journey with your sexual energy, with your life force energy. It is the Pluto retrograde, if you work with it, can bring up all of the tantra wounds, all of the sexual traumas that stop you being sovereign, all of the misuse of life force energy. It's like that's where we need to go in our deep transformational inquiry, this Pluto retrograde, because it's starting on Beltane. So that's where it wants to go in terms of where the death and transformation and rebirth and inner inquiry happens. And you know, also, Pluto is the lord of the underworld. So the first thing that's happening in May is go dark, go in, turn inwards. Like we've had all of this activation, all this energy. Now you've got to go in. And you've got to go in intimately, because it's Beltane. Into me I see, dropping into you. What the sky is saying is like, communicate with your deep self. Communicate with your life force energy. It doesn't lie. It will tell you the truth. And on a collective level, what my guides keep talking about is like this summer, it's all about the currents changing, which means the currencies are changing, which means, and you know, it's about like how we're using our energy needs to change now. And we can only understand how we're using our energy is if we meet where we're at right now. And so that is what the sky is saying is the most important thing to do. And that's all that happens at the start of the May, like, which is quite rare, you know. It's like, just go in, just look, just find out what's going on. Where's your energy at? What's giving you energy? What's taking your energy? What's losing you energy? How is your energy circulating? How is it cycling? That is where we need to be. That's what we need to be with in May. And then on the 7th of May, we go into the Taurus new moon. And this new moon marks the end of the eclipse season, and the eclipse was so massive. You know, the last eclipse window is one of the biggest bang eclipse windows we have ever had. And so this new moon is like, it's like the coming out of that process that the eclipse took us through, and into the new beginning that we seeded in the eclipse. So we're out of the kind of washing machine phase, and it's like we're hanging out to dry. whatever we washed in the eclipse, it's now hanging out to dry. And it's going to hang out to dry in your body, because Taurus, you know, this is all about embodiment, May. It's like, can you embody everything you intended and activated and received codes and upgrades and, you know, all of the big energy shifts that were happening in April? It's like, can you actually embody it? Taurus is all about embodiment. It's like, is it happening through the body? Can you bring this new path cycle into the body? So around the Taurus new moon, any embodiment practices that are really good to do, anything that allows you to drop more into your body, and doing those practices intentionally, whether it's yoga, whether it's body work, massages, myofascial release, anything that brings you deeper into your body is going to be a good thing to do, and connect to the intentions that you had on the eclipse, in the eclipse window, and in the whole of April, because, you know, April was really all about the Jupiter and Uranus, which happened in Taurus. So this new moon is like, okay, the new beginning is starting. Can you live it? Can you live it in the rituals of the body? Can you live it in the way that you're eating, in the way that you're resting, in the way that you're exercising, in the way that you're communicating with others? Can you actually start to walk the talk? And with this new moon, there's going to be more clarity. Like I said, we're out of the washing machine. It's like, finally, you're going to be like, okay, I can see the direction. So some of the ideas that maybe came into your energy body in April, they're going to come into you, into your consciousness. It's a really good time to journal. It's also a really good time to set intention and, yes, take things from ideas into considered and careful and empowered action. And then on May 13th, Mercury leaves its shadow. And so Mercury retrograde ended on April 25th. And then it's been, after retrograde, the planets are in shadow, which is like they're moving out of retrograde, but they're not fully direct yet. It's like they're changing the gear. And so Mercury leaving its shadow phase on May 13th, and I want to say this is significant as well, because 13 is the feminine number, and when I've tuned in, May is all about the feminine energy. So what the sky is saying is it's like Mercury retrograde is about going inwards. We now need to come outwards with our feminine energy. Does that make sense? So we've got to let our feminine energy be more present in the world. Come out into the world in a feminine way, in a way that is gentle. One of the things that came out of my time in Japan was my guides were saying that, like, you know, doing things gently is how you rest whilst doing. And it's like there is this invitation to speak gently, to move forward gently, to be in a state of integration, and yet still do, and yet not be completely still, you know, still doing, still in the flow, on the go. And again, there's lots and lots of clarity coming through. So one of the things that the sky is saying in May is like, it's fairly spacious. So it's like, give yourself space, give yourself time, create space for flow, create space for the new to flow. And then let go into it and be gentle with it, and allow the clarity to drop in, so that you can be Taurus, so that you can be full-bodied in everything. Because yeah, it is, when I tune in, it's like about being very deliberate, you know. It's like everything you do, you need to do it from the deep self outwards, really, really arriving, really, really committing, really, really being fully present in what you are doing. And you're only going to do that if there is space, if you are not overcrowded, rushing around, overactivated, yanging, overcharged. You need to drop into the yin, you need to be. And then on May 15th, Mercury moves into Taurus. And so this is, you know, the middle of the month really has the like medicine of the month. And Mercury is about communication, it is about travel, it is about how we go from inner to outer and outer to inner. And really in Taurus, you know, it's like, can your communication be grounded? Can you speak clearly? Can you speak truthfully? Can you do things with love? And love is often patient and it's often slow. You know, love and survival. Survival is like treading water, whereas love is just floating and being carried, you know? So what the sky is saying is like, can you communicate this new path, this new direction with love? Can you do it with love? Can you ground it in? Can you slow down into it? Very, very powerful time. This whole month, it is a very powerful time to do affirmations. Very, very powerful to be saying affirmations that are like, I love myself, or I am living my best life, or I am of service to the highest good and greatest joy of all, always. and really strengthening your relationship with yourself, not just through affirmation, but also like, are you treating yourself well? Because Taurus is very, very much about like, can you, Taurus isn't about the big, like, are you saving the world? It's like, are you treating your immediate well? Are you eating in a way that is actually pleasurable to you? Are you luxuriating in your rest? Are you being present in the moment? Because your presence is what Mother Earth, your presence is your service. And we can get very, very caught up in, the other ways in which we can be of service to others and to the greater good. And we can be abandoning our own presence in the process. And so the month is saying, be present. Your presence is your present to life. And the more presence you can bring, the more this new upgrade that everybody has received on a light body level can actually be realized. But if you don't slow down, and it's not about slowing down in the sense of doing less, it's about slowing down in the way that you are doing things. So if you notice the way I'm speaking, I am getting to the end of my sentences. If you don't slow down and arrive and anchor this month, then your system isn't actually going to be able to digest all of the codes, upgrades, activations, energy things that came in last month. A new direction, it can only, this is deep feminine wisdom, but like our energy can only change direction when we become still, when we become spacious. You can't just change direction at the same rate. You've got to slow down to be able to actually recurrent the self and to be able to digest. And it, like I said, it's not about just completely stopping. Like, great if you can go on holiday this month, but like, if you can't, it's about taking time to be considered in what you say and in present in what you do, and really allowing things to land in you, and especially in the way you are communicating to yourself and to others. Because the currents of our life force that are the key to this change that is happening all summer, they are how we communicate with others and with ourselves. So if you want to realize the change and embody the change, you've got to change your pace. And what the guides are saying is, like, the more you can land things, again, if you hear how I'm communicating to you, the more you can land, the stronger your affirmations and manifestations are going to be this month. Because there's a lot of magic in the air this month. There's a lot of sexual charge in what's going on in the planets. Like, what you communicate is what gets realized. So make sure with the whole of your body, you are communicating your highest truth. Make sure you are communicating the truth, because there's manifestation energy flowing through what you're communicating. There's surges of life force energy as all of this light and activation from the month before gets digested. And that's what leads me on to probably one of the most important things that's happening in May. So on between the 16th and the 18th, the sun and Algor, the sun's in Algor, the sun and Algor are conjunct, I believe. And Algor is like, it's known as the like darkest asteroid in astrology, but it's kind of the darkness of the deep feminine. So Algol is the head of Medusa in astrology, and Medusa, she represents in astrology and in her myth shadow work. You know, that's what her myth is about. She is deep shadow work, because the story, I've told the story many times on Magic Month before, but like, she was raped in a temple of Athena by Poseidon, the god of the sea, and Athena punished her by turning her into a monster with snakes as her hair, and everybody that she looked at turned to stone. And the only way that she was liberated from this is the hero of the story came in with a mirror shield, and it turned her to stone. So when she looked at her own shadow, when the victim of that story, which she was, looked at the shadow, she was turned to stone. Her head was cut off. Out from her neck flew Pegasus, the winged horse, which is all about liberation. And then her head was then used as this like secret weapon in battles. And so like the wound became a superpower. So everything about the story of Medusa is shadow work. And, you know, the highest levels of the sun and Algor, it's like total alchemy. It's like the height of feminine power. It's actually connected to menstrual magic, which makes me really happy, because at that time I'm actually booked in to write a book called Manifesting on Your Cycle, or edit a book called Manifesting on Your Cycle. But yeah, it's about the power of the feminine. It's about the power of full-bodied alchemy. It's about transformation. It's about finding the blessing and the medicine and the liberation in the truth, you know, in the sexual energy becoming truth. Like, if you can harness the ancient truth, if you can connect to the deepest part of yourself and the old magic and the land at this time, then you can literally chop the head off your wounds. Your wounds can become superpowers. Like, it is, when I tune into it, it's like the goddess energy that, especially if you have dropped in, if you have been considered, if you have spent that early part of the month really learning to communicate and embody and arrive and land, this sun algal moment is just pure alchemy. And it's like anything that was, you know, that you worked on in the eclipse window that hasn't fully alchemized, it will be fully alchemized if you work in this portal. You know, not by the sky, but by your own magic. It's like your own magic is supercharged. Your own powers are just so high at this time. It's such a powerful time to be doing ceremony, transformation, land work, anything that is high magic. The feminine likes high ceremony. So this is the time to be in priestess circle, in women's circle, in the theatre of ceremony, because that's where the power is in feminine ceremony, especially in like the Medusa style. The snakes are also the rebirth. It's a very, very, very powerful time to be doing any form of cycle magic, any form of sisterhood healing, any form of connecting to the order that is beyond the patriarchal reality, that is beyond the matrix. My guides were channeling quite a lot about the matrix recently, and they were saying like the matrix is, the matrix doesn't exist anywhere apart from in our own identity. It is our time-space coordinate of identity that means that we're in the matrix. So if we carry the identity that we are working class, or we carry the identity that we are a gender, a race, a sexuality, like whatever you are carrying as identity, that is how you are in the matrix, because the matrix is your place within the interconnectedness of everything. And if you want to transcend the matrix, then use this time to have and to do the work on those core identities that keep you in the matrix of our consciousness, because reality is nature, not matrix. And what is available if you do the alchemical work at this time, if you do the shadow work, if you do the deep healing work, with whatever comes up in your life, wherever you're not being true is just going to be highlighted at this time. Your feelings of where you're not being true are going to be expanded, so you can see. And if you do the work and do the deep dive and understand why you're not being true, you can transcend it. You can stop being in that identity, stop being in that coordinate of the identity, and become a drop that joins the ocean of nature. And really, 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 this is DNA work. This is creating space. Because this month is actually all about creating space for power to flow. It's like the power came on last month. Now we have to carve space for the power to flow into. And this time is just so powerful to be doing the deep healing inner work, to be clearing out, especially the sexual energy stuff. Especially the stuff that's in your life force energy, that's stopping your life force energy from being completely present, completely alive, completely flowing. It's causing it to freeze or block or get stuck or get stiff. And then after that deep healing on the 23rd of May, we have Sagittarius full moon. And so it's beautiful, like after that deep, deep, deep dive of communicating with yourself and your life force and being intimate and spacious and dark and shadowy and transformative and alchemical. And we have Sagittarius full moon, which is all about illumination and coming out into the world and coming into joy and speaking up and moving forward. And this is like coming forward, not from that like activation way, where like you're just electrocuted forward. This is like that graceful, you know, the sensual, like coming forward from the mythical depths of the self, coming forward because the inner is illuminated, riding your own fire, letting go into more of your joy, more of your divine, more of your rapture. Really powerful moon to be manifesting on, and it's a really, really positive moon. And you know, really what I perceive is that there's this, in May, there's this whole purification of the sexual energy, because we're starting to become better at creating out of our sexual energy. Like our Amrita is starting to activate. And so that's why we've got to do the work and clear out the things that are not true. Because we don't want to get better at manifesting the things that are not true. That's manifesting more distortion. And so this is really a month, including this moon, about aligning, like what is actually true? What do I need to let go of? What is not soul standard? It needs to go. What's going to help me be more soul, more embodied, more of my best self? And how can I truly live it from inside to outside? How can I truly embody it in my thoughts, in my words, in my actions? And communicate it. You know, if we're muddy in our communication with the universe, then we're going to get a muddy reality. If we're muddy in communication with other people, we're going to get a muddy reality. And that's why, you know, Venus, on the 23rd, it moves into Gemini. Venus is all about heart and life force energy. And Gemini is all about communication. It's all about, like, how deeply and truly can you talk to people without being dogmatic. How, you know, Gemini's got this thing of, like, we'll see both sides. Can you see the male and the female side? Can you be the opposite of dogma in the way that you communicate and still be clear? Can you express and be social and fun and also truthful? You know, there's a lot of and also. It's like, find your and alsos. Can you do this really well and this? And there's this wonderful surge of creative energy coming in. It's very, very creative moon. If you can, get creative with your manifestations. Good time to vision board. Good time to, beyond vision board, like paint. Paint your future, or poem your future, or like communicate your future to the universe. And the guides are saying, and, add more. You know, Gemini's like twins. It's like, can you multiply? Can you have more than just one way? Can you have two ways flowing? And then on the 25th, Jupiter also moves into Gemini. And so Jupiter's going to be in Gemini for 12 months. And this, you know, this means that Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter is path and abundance. Jupiter in Gemini is all about communication and travel and media and expansion. It's so good. If you it's like PR, it's like networking, spotlighting, you know, it's like time to light up. So don't be lit up in your distortion. Get that distortion out of you. Be in your truth. So that as the spotlight comes on it's the truth that is shining. It's an amazing time to be sharing your stories, to be voicing, expressing, communicating from the heart, from the soul. It's about giving platform to your message. So get clear on what message do you have for the world. You know, and also it's about networking. You know, it's about the power of more than one person. And so this is the end of the month is a wonderful time to be, just making connections, going to networking events, really putting that time into how can I make more noise about my path, about what I'm doing, about what I love? How can I be really in the communication of self as path? And then, right at the end of the month, from the 28th to the 30th, we have the Algebran Silvergate portal. So, you know, you go from this very, very deep, intimate life force, sexual energy, alchemical process to the end of the month, which is a Royal Star Gateway. And Algebran is just the Royal Star Gateway of Algebran. It's like energy pours down from Algebran, which is one of the 4 royal stars, and it's an upgrade. It's about connecting to your higher self, to your soul, and being able to rest in it. You know, this is the star where they say that souls go to rest and digest after they die. And so again, we have this theme of like rest and digest. It's like, can you rest in the new? Can you rest in the new direction? Can you rest your higher self into your reality? Can you relax into your soul contract? Can you, everything that you have been seeding and saying yes to and opening up to, can you actually be comfortable with it in your body? Can you let it into your life and digest it into your life? Because my feeling is that doors are going to start opening. You know, this Jupiter and Gemini, it's like people are going to open doors for you. Opportunities are going to come in. The spotlight's on. Showtime. Manifesting is getting stronger. Life force energy is recurrenting. There's this like big build up of energy. And it, you know, can we rest in it? Can we really, really, really let our higher self energy be something that exists as us, through us, in our life force energy, in our body, in our creative forces, in our thoughts, words, and actions and choices? Can the upgrades of April be so in you that you can actually relax into them? And my feeling is that it can happen if you go on this deep journey. If you let the sky lead, if you surrender. Surrender gently and consideredly and presently to what the sky is saying to do in May. And so that is May. It's basically integration. It's basically integration of April, but in a really deep and profound and powerful way. And really, 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 when I tune in, it's just all about power. It's about the power of our communication, the power of our sexual energy, the power of the feminine way, the power of old magic. It's power. And in Aquaria, in the age of Aquaria, power is flow. And so if there isn't space, flow can't happen, power can't happen. This is about space. So that the new powers within you, by the end of the month, by the Algebran Gateway, which is a silver gateway, it's about feminine power, which is creative power, creational power, life force for power. So by that gateway, you're just one with your power as a flow. You're one with what your soul wants to create through you next. You have let go of the things that your soul doesn't want to create anymore. It's a really important month, but it's so sovereign. The other thing that's coming through is like either you're going to do it or you're not. either you're going to slow down and embody and communicate and be more considered and more present, or you're not. And that's just up to you. But I would call in anything that you can to support you. So if having a weekly massage means you're going to slow down, then do that. If going to a women's circle is going to drop you into the feminine, then do that. If spending time in nature is going to help you, or putting rest time aside each day is going to help you, do it. If affirmations are going to help you, do it. You know, support yourself. And as I'm saying this, it's 2222. It's like the feminine, its power doesn't exist without support. So you've got to be supported in order for this to flow. And you've got to not push, but lean back. In a way, in April, we were pushed to our limit, pushed into our sacred edges. And now it's like, okay, lean back and let it digest. And this is absolutely the best advice that I am getting from the cosmology field for May. And so there are a couple of things I can offer you. It's all very aligned. It's very amazing to me. I can't believe I'm actually doing manifesting on your cycle in during the Medusa moment. It's just amazing to me. So Starlight doesn't actually, well, I have stuff on. It's just my retreat's sold out and the things I'm doing are sold out. So there isn't much on in May. But my recommendation is you join the Life Force Cafe. There's going to be a really, really cool practice for holding more light and being more present as a daily practice coming out in the Life Force Cafe. I'm going to do something from Beltane to help gear you into this Life Force conversation. And then we have Jem Ayres as our special guest, who is just amazing and all about pleasure and life force energy. And like, I didn't know the astrology for May. When we booked her, it's just divine that she is there. Actually on the 17th of May, which is right in the middle of that Sun Algor amazing alchemical moment. Because, you know, the greatest force of your alchemy is your own life force. That is the power of you. That is your soul. It is your spirit. And so I would suggest that you join the Life Force Cafe, and yeah, there'll be loads. And I will probably do something for the Royal Star Gateway. I only just found out about it, so I need to tune in and see what the guides say. But you know, quite often Starlight does stuff for the Royal Star Gateway, and they're always super powerful. And so join my mailing list if you feel called to work with the Royal Star Gateway. And the other thing I want to tell you about is in the summer solstice. So May is the beginning of a summer that is all about recurrenting. And recurrenting is literally creating different ways for your life force energy to flow. And in the summer solstice, my guides have said that it is absolutely essential that I take a group to Star Mountain in Portugal, which is this amazing, amazing place that is just like the frequencies there are off the charts. There's a rose quartz mountain, there's a quartz cave, there's all this like fresh water you can swim in. It's just absolutely amazing. And we are going to be taken on this portal journey that is all about learning to truly experience power as flow through gentleness, through softness, through all sorts of cosmic amazing teachings, through land ceremony. And yeah, it's just going to be amazing. So that I recommend you come to in June, because May is just the beginning of this currency journey that we're all about to go on. That is like a rewiring of the way we use our creative energy, the way we use our Amrita, the way we create. And so that would be my recommendation if you want to come and do something with me. And yeah. Let's just close our eyes now and really allow yourself to let go. To let go of anything that you are holding on to, that you are hoarding in your energy, in your mind, in your heart. Clearing the passageways and spaces inside of yourself. Because in a way, what stops us being present is hoarding. It's like emotional and mental hoarding. And just right here, right now, choose to let go. Even if you don't know what you're letting go of. Just let go of whatever your soul doesn't want you to carry anymore. Of whatever doesn't serve you. Of whatever dregs and resistances you have within the score of the body that are in the way of this upgrade and ascension happening. And give in. To the gravity and the gentleness and the spaciousness and this considered presence of May 2024. And the guides are saying you will really know what to let go of, because it will be making you feel tired while you're doing it. It will be short of energy while you're doing it. And the things that are the right direction will just be so full of energy, more energy than you have known. So take stock, notice, follow the energy, home to yourself, out into the world and into your higher self and potential. And these are the directions this month, into the self, out into connection, out into the world, and then up into a greater version of your life, a higher truth. Potential becoming reality. And breathe in love. And breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Really noticing as we leave April, your energy is settling now into the very different process that it is going to go on in May 2024. And when you are ready, opening your eyes, sending you all so much love from Portugal. I really hope that you join the Life Force Cafe. It's a really great time to be part of the Life Force Cafe because it's where the support, at least the starlight support, is going to be. And yeah, I really think have a tune in to the Star Mothers in Portugal. I put the link up. It's going to be amazing. Land work is definitely where the energy is at the moment. And yeah, the guides have been so excited about this particular four nights, 5 days in Star Mountain. So much love to you all. Many, many, many blessings.